Hi, I'm Danner. I'm a computer engineering student from Huntsville, Alabama. When I was a kid, my family built this shed in the hills of southern Tennessee. It sat dormant for nearly 20 years and began to deteriorate. I'm currently on a mission to restore the shed and convert it into an amazing tiny house. With the help of my dad, I'm learning the basics of construction, restoring the land, and documenting our story. This is Abandoned Shed to Tiny House. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Starting this off a little bit different today because last night we were browsing the auction and we had an item that we really wanted. We were ready to fight for this item. $100, $200, we were ready. And we were on there bidding and we ended up stealing this thing for $35. So starting this off, we're just gonna go head over to the auction and show you what we won. So let's head over there. Alright, so we have arrived at the auction and here is our $35 find. Check that out. So this is a vintage stereo console with a record player, and we saw this and thought it would be really cool in the house. So we're probably going to modernize it a little bit, but let's go ahead and take this. What do you have for us?
Say what? No, what are you doing? Don't you take no picture of me looking like you. That get pretty. Don't do that.
What'd you make for us?
I made for you.
you gotta sing for us.
I got to sing for you. What I got to sing?
I've been waiting for you to sing to me.
What you want me to sing?
I don't know.
Don't take no picture of me looking like this.
And thank you so much for the pie.
You're welcome.
These are the best pies ever.
We're going to thank God, okay? We're going to thank God because God gave the talent to my mother. Then he passed it on down. So I make not only pies, I make barbecue sauce and all that stuff. So next week I have some hot mild boxes.
Ooh.
So
we're getting that.
God is never late. He's right on time. The Lord is never late. He's right on time. You can call him in the morning, call him late at night. No matter what the problem, it will be alright. The Lord, He never late. Ooh, He right on time. The Lord is never late. He right on time.
Okay, so we are back at the shed now. We got our stereo and we're actually going to save that for another episode just because, one, we don't want it to take up space in here, and two, we have some stuff we want to do, refinish it, maybe update the electronics. It's not really a super special unit, it's just a JCPenney one, so we are going to refresh it just a little bit, which thought it looked cool. But it is super cold today. We actually have 3 kerosene heaters that we've been running just to keep it warm in here because we don't have any insulation in here. You guys might remember our wood burning stove. This is a Dutchwest stove that we got from Facebook Marketplace. It's clearly very used. It has this rusty patina on it, and we've actually grown to like this look of it. The other option is to make it all black and shiny, make it look brand new again, but we think that this look actually will fit the house really well just because we're kind of going for a rustic look in here. The other day we started taking this thing apart because some of the pieces inside are just worn from all the use in the past. Like this baffle, you can just see how the stuff gets worn, and we wanted to go ahead and start replacing some of this stuff just so we can be using it while it's cold. Got it opened up the other day and we kind of got a little sucked in. We didn't really film that much of it. There were some dead stink bugs in there that had just been burnt to a crisp, and we did a lot of vacuuming in there. So yeah, this is a 2461 Dutchwest stove. This one is made for houses 800 to 1600 square feet. And just to put that in perspective, this living area is just under 900 square feet. So this is really a perfect stove for us. The range of heat output is 11,000 to 26,000 BTUs per hour. And this is also made out of cast iron. It weighs over 400 pounds and it's just super heavy. We had to use a tractor to get it in here. Once this thing gets to its operating temperature, around 500 degrees, this is just a big old hunk of cast iron that's radiating heat into the space. And once it gets up to its operating temperature, you can activate the catalytic burner with this damper. Then all of the smoke will be directed through the catalytic burner and it'll be able to get really hot. We've seen it get up to 1200 degrees and it'll really re-burn all that smoke, create a more cleaner burn. And it's really cool because when you're outside looking at the chimney, before you activate it, you can see smoke coming out, and then after you turn it on, it looks like pretty much nothing is coming out. So it definitely does work, and that's just a really cool feature of this stove. Part of what we're replacing today is just this baffle that goes around the catalytic burner. This is the catalytic burner, and I don't want to break it. And it has a lot of surface area and the catalyst, and it lets it burn really hot, and it's just like a catalytic converter in your car. So let's just see how this works real quick. Usually this catalytic burner will be right on top of this baffle, and this is the new one. And this will just be right up underneath, and all the smoke will be coming through these holes, and this kind of just distributes it throughout the burner. And there's also this secondary air input that just allows it to get a lot hotter and burn more efficiently. And then looking up here, you can see how the damper works. This will be the output of the catalytic burner, and then this damper bypasses it. So when it's open like that, the smoke can go through here, and then when you put it down, the smoke will just be going directly through that catalytic burner and up through the chimney. And while we have this open, we're also going to be replacing a gasket that is underneath that damper. And one of the things that was kind of interesting to me about this is, for some reason, when I think of gasket, I think of like a rubber gasket that you'd see in a car. But I was kind of surprised to find out that this is more like a rope material, but this is made out of fiberglass, so it can withstand very high temperatures. And so we're going to be pulling out that old gasket, putting this in, and then we'll be able to go ahead and button everything back up. Then we'll be able to start using this and have another source of heat to heat this thing. Because yeah, it's just freezing in here and we want a little more heat. So yeah, let's go ahead and replace that gasket. And then after that, we're going to be coming back in the morning and cutting down that big cherry tree. All right, so it's the next day now, and this morning, first thing we did when we got here was light up our wood burning stove, and it is just working perfect. I mentioned in the last video that we have this huge cherry tree that has a giant hole in it. If that thing falls, it'll definitely hit the shed or the tractor, something we don't want. So today our neighbor Shannon is gonna come out and help us cut down the tree. I think he's gonna be bringing a bucket and getting up in there, cutting down branches, and should be cool to watch. So let's go ahead and start working on this tree. All right, Shannon, thank you for coming out.
All right.
So can you tell us a little bit how you're gonna approach the situation?
Yeah, we're gonna go up and we're gonna take some of the limbs that are spread out to basically center the weight, so we don't have weight pulling one way or another. And once we get all the weight more centralized up the tree, then we will probably get some of the top out to where we're not pulling it's so high that we're trying to force it to go the way we want. And then we'll come back down and we'll V-cut the bottom of the tree. And before we do that, while I'm up there, we'll tie a rope up high, and then we'll V-cut the tree. And then we'll move the truck and we'll get on the other side and start cutting and have the rope tied off to the tractor, pulling it the way we want it to go, being that it is hollow, and a lot of times hollow trees are a little unpredictable. So just notching them, a lot of times just notching them ain't enough, because they could be hollow way up through there, so you have more weight going one way or another.
And you said you found some bees nests and stuff in trees before?
Oh yeah. We had a job we done, big, huge black walnut. Had thousands of bees in it when we cut into it. So.
All right. Well, I'll let you get started, and good luck.
All right.
Has anything surprised you about this tree so far?
No, but I tell you what I did notice. Once I got all the top down, I grabbed just the top of the log up there, and where it is so hollow down here, I could move it.
Oh, wow.
I could move it by my hand.
How long do you think this tree would have had if we didn't cut it?
It would have failed sometime this year.
Wow.
Without a doubt.
So it's a good time. Good thing we're cutting it down.
Yeah, it would have definitely failed this year. So I'm going to try could cut like an 8-foot log and let it fall, and then we'll notch the rest of it and get it to fall over, where that maybe it won't be hollow and y'all can get logs out of it. So,
Yeah, there's definitely no way that we could have cut this thing down. This bucket looks really fun though. We might need to get one of those. You know, maybe I could do it if I had the bucket.
once you get over that fear and you don't learn to just look down all the time, it just really ain't nothing to it. So,
yeah, you definitely look like you've done this a few times. Just by the way you're maneuvering this bucket, you're just gliding around that tree.
It's not always been like that. I've been out there, bam, run into something, bam, run into another tree. A lot of practice, I guess.
Alright, that was pretty crazy when it fell. It was just a huge stump, really satisfying, and I think Shannon did a great job. And this thing's actually, it just feels so much bigger than it looked when we were just staring there looking at it. So yeah, a lot of wood in that, and it also seems like we're gonna be able to use a good bit if we want to use it if we want to do a sawmill on it or something. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. And now there's also branches everywhere, so we have a lot of cleanup to do. Well, Shannon, thank you so much.
No problem.
That was awesome.
We got it down. We started at 80 foot tall, and we're now at about 3 foot tall.
How would you rate this tree compared to some stuff you've done?
It wasn't too bad. The only reason why is because most of the stuff we do that's like the size of this tree and this stuff is around 4 or 5 foot, 6 foot, 8 foot from houses. Something like that, you can't basically fall it like we did. You have to take it down section by section. So it makes it pretty tough when you have mere feet from somebody's house. So.
Is it pretty scary in those last few moments right before it falls?
Yeah, when you're down there and even over the saw, you can hear the wood crackling and stuff. Yeah, it kind of, you want to make sure you have a runway to get away if you have to. So, like I said, we had the luxury of having it tied up high to pull it the way we wanted it, so that made it a little easier. So.
All right, well, thank you so much.
No problem.
And we'll probably be seeing you again soon when we have to cut down the other tree over there. Alright, so it has just been a beautiful day, and we spent a few hours just putting a dent in all this mess left behind from this cherry tree. We actually have a ton of logs now that we can use for fires in the wood burning stove, just kind of coming around in full circle for that. And we also have a bunch of brush that we're gonna be burning in our burn pile. But yeah, this is pretty awesome. We just definitely have a lot of wood that we have to work with, and I think it'll be cool doing something with the sawmill. And by the way, if anyone happens to be watching that does sawmill stuff in southern Tennessee or North Alabama, reach out to us. We'd love to have some help with this. We're also looking into getting a sawmill ourselves. So we have this, many more trees along this property, and yeah, we'd like to do some stuff with that. Overall, just a fun day. It was really awesome seeing Shannon cut this down, and I think that's gonna be a wrap for this video. Thanks to everyone who has liked and subscribed, back to some Patreon, and we also just hit 30,000 subscribers, so we've just been climbing up, and thank you guys so much to everyone who subscribed. Yeah, so that's gonna be a wrap, and I will see you guys in the next video.